the Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo and neighboring Uganda has reported over 2,000 cases and 700 deaths as of July 14th. This epidemic is caused by the Bundibugyo strain of the virus, which spreads through direct contact with bodily fluids from infected people or animals. The International Organization for Migration has warned that the transport of Ebola victims' bodies within Congo risks further spreading the virus to new areas, especially as families move bodies for funerals in their home communities. It's a challenge that highlights the importance of safe handling of bodies and community engagement in controlling the outbreak. According to Andrew Mbala from the IOM, if we don't really manage the dead bodies well, if we don't engage the community, then it means there will be more spread within the community. The IOM has also noted that around 2/3 of the deaths occurred outside clinics or hospitals, making funeral practices a critical component of outbreak control. As we continue to monitor this situation, it's essential to remember that Ebola remains highly infectious after death. The safe handling of bodies and community engagement are vital to preventing further spread of the virus. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. We're continuing our discussion on current events, and now we're shifting our focus to a developing story that's making headlines around the world. China has rejected President Trump's claims of election interference, calling them groundless accusations. This comes after the president's address to the nation, where he raised doubts about the 2020 U.S. election results and accused Beijing of meddling. To give you a better understanding of this complex issue, let's take a closer look at the facts. China's Foreign Ministry spokesperson, Lin Jian, has stated that China has never interfered in U.S. elections and has no interest in doing so. The Chinese government is urging Washington to stop making what it describes as groundless accusations and to do something conducive to improving China-U.S. relations. It's essential to note that this development comes just 2 months after President Trump's visit to Beijing, where he met with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Both governments had expressed a willingness to adopt a new framework to manage their bilateral relations, and President Trump even invited Xi to visit the United States in September. However, these latest comments from the president may potentially derail progress on trade talks and other matters. As we strive to provide balanced coverage, it's crucial to acknowledge that some experts have pointed out that voter information is publicly available and can be purchased by campaigns. Mark Warner, the senior-most Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, has also emphasized this point. In an effort to understand the implications of this story, let's consider the potential consequences of these accusations on China-U.S. relations. The Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C., has released a statement urging the U.S. side to reflect on its actions and to refrain from making China an issue in its elections. As we move forward, it will be vital to monitor how this situation unfolds and to provide updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that the relationship between the United States and China remains complex and multifaceted. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, I want to dive into a thought-provoking analysis of the current state of U.S.-China relations. The relationship between these two global powers has been increasingly complex, with tensions escalating over issues like trade, technology, and Taiwan. According to experts, Andrew Scoble and Andrea Gazzelli, the concentration of power around leaders like Trump and Xi has weakened the institutions that make stable competition possible. This has led to a highly unstable form of great power competition where both sides are powerful, insecure, and increasingly unpredictable. The authors argue that fixing a broken political system or a dysfunctional policy apparatus is much more challenging than rebuilding trust in bilateral relations. They also raise questions about whether the United States' democratic institutions still possess the discipline, expertise, and accountability required for effective foreign policy. It's essential to acknowledge that both countries have their own set of challenges and priorities. The US is grappling with internal political divisions, while China is dealing with its own economic and social issues. However, as the world's two largest economies, it's crucial that they find ways to manage their rivalry effectively. The central challenge for the United States and China is indeed institutional rather than geopolitical. A stable US-China relationship doesn't require friendship or strategic trust, but it does require functioning institutions, reliable channels of communication, and adequate bureaucratic competence to forestall policies of impulsivity and unpredictability. As we move forward, it's crucial to recognize that the US-China relationship is not a zero-sum game. Both countries have much to gain from cooperation, particularly in areas like climate change, global health, and economic development. In conclusion, the future of US-China relations will depend on the ability of both countries to strengthen their institutions, promote transparency and accountability, and foster a more stable and predictable environment for diplomacy. That's all for today's Barbara's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.